We do not want to own that business. The business belongs to artisans. The true empowerment happens when they own the business and they run the business. And therefore, the Towolt Artisans Collaborative is owned by just nearly 200 women in about 15 self-help groups. Done my food technology and studied journalism, marketing, and I started my own business way back in 1981. So I would say my background is being an entrepreneur. I'm involved in an organization called ASCENT, the Asian Center for Entrepreneurial Initiatives. 2 years after starting my own business, some of us got together and felt that we need to help others in starting business like we did, particularly women, and therefore I have been involved in entrepreneurship development across Asia, Africa for the past 20 years. Therefore, one of the steps that happened was that I was involved in a study of the tanning industry as to the role of women in tanning industry, or where are they in the tanning industry. And when my study was done, it was highly appreciated. Then I was asked to do an evaluation of the leather mission which was here in India. And as a part of it, we visited Athini, where the Kolhapuri chappals are made. And when I saw that major funds from the UNDP National Leather Program went to small and medium, even large enterprises to improve their productivity, make it more eco-friendly, and many such other reasons. But however, for the artisanal sector, the investment was far low than what was expected, and therefore my strong recommendation was to create a project or initiative to support the handcrafted footwear artisans, not only in Athini but also in other parts of the country. And subsequently, I was asked to take up a project in that area. That's how I got involved in developing the artisans who make handcrafted leather footwear from Athini area. Concern for pollution in the tanning industry, UNIDO had set up a project. As a part of the project, they wanted to see what is the role of women in tanning industry. Therefore, I did the study. They asked me to be the consultant for it. It's not that I did it. And as a result, my finding was highly appreciated. And when we started working with the community in Athini of the handcrafted leather footwear makers, the first thing we noticed is the entire project was normally, as ever, was addressed to men, because they saw men as the producers of these footwear. But what I found was that women had a very strong and positive role. They contributed as much as men, and it was a familial activity. Both men and women worked on the footwear making. However, the roles were very clear. Women made the intricate designs on the top, the uppers, the briding, which is called veini in that area. Many such finishing was done by women. The designs were done by women. The hardy soles, which are made out of the back tanned leather, which is called the eco-friendly leather, that is very strong and tough, which is usually sort of softened and worked on by men. So the men and women had a good role division, as well as they had roles to play. However, women were totally not taken into account. So we started off with women in that area. We believe, as I said, our organization, ASCENT, believes in empowering people, working with people first and the product later. Most such initiative where people have gone to help artisan group or the grassroots group or people who have produced a group, what happens is that people look at how do we improve the product, what kind of technology can we get, what is the market. So the whole focus is not with the people. Unless you empower people, unless you get the people to understand the product has to be better, and they feel, yes, we have to improve the product. They feel we want to learn. Unless you create that empowerment model, it doesn't work, because somebody else keeps working for you otherwise. An external agency has to work for you. Here, we said empowerment is the first step. So we worked with the people. We taught them what is business, all the business skills, like what is pricing, what is costing, what is like profit, what is loss, how do you do your costing? How do you price? Are you driven by the market price or do you have a price? So our entire project was called Project Enterprise. The spelling was at the end C, it said it's enterprise. Not only did they get the business skill, they also got the technical skill in the sense how to design, how to do correct measurement, because they had no standardization. There was no 7 size, there was no 8 size. Whatever size they drew and made, that was a chappal. You had to put on and check whether it fits your foot. You couldn't make out whether 7 or 8. Today they can tell you about American size and they can tell you about Japanese size, or they can tell you what sells in Europe, because that's the way they have internationally standardized their product. So we needed to teach them technically what is size, what is girth, what is finish, what is fitting, what is comfort, many such things, which was all done by Central Leather Research Institute. These are handcrafted footwear. You can't drive it by volume. I felt it has to be driven by design, it has to be boutiqued, and it has to be low volume, high price. You get a high price only when you do a designer product. And therefore, if we focused on the high end of the market, we decided we'll not go to sympathy markets, which is third world shop, fair trade shop kind of thing, where we are really, kind of marketing their poverty in a way. I don't like that. We said they are capable of producing great product, and the product has to sell for itself, not their background. And therefore, it was positioned as a designer product, a high-end product to sell in the high-end market, so that it is not volume driven but it's design driven. And now the export designers, like somebody like Catherine Willem from Brussels comes and works with them, which is something that we are very proud of. And she is very understanding. Though they can't talk each other's language, every year they are able to produce great designs, because these people are good craftspeople. She is a great designer who understands the needs of these people, knows how to get it done, and she's really worked with them excellently, and she's one example of what designer can make a difference. Therefore, these people have reached the international market, making all the difference, which is something that we are proud of. And the women are so empowered, so are the men. It is not that just the women are empowered. So the whole process has buoyed the entire community. Things have changed.